So let's kick things off with our central mystery. Imagine a patient comes in and they have this really specific weakness. Their face and arm are affected, but their leg is totally fine. So how can we possibly know exactly where the problem is? Well, it all comes down to understanding the brain's vascular roadmap. And by the end of this, you'll know exactly how to solve this kind of puzzle.
Here's our game plan for cracking this case. First, we'll look at the map, the brain's major arteries. Then we'll investigate the clues that strokes leave behind in the front and back of the brain. We'll also explore some really unique danger zones. And finally, we'll put all the pieces together to reveal the answer. Okay, first things first. We need to lay down the ground rules. We're starting with the one fundamental idea that connects a blood vessel to a specific set of symptoms. And in neurology, trust me, location is absolutely everything. So what exactly is a stroke syndrome? It's not just a random jumble of problems. Nope. Think of it more like a calling card. It's a very specific pattern of issues that's directly tied to a blockage in one particular supply line. If you know the neighborhood that artery supplies, you can predict the problems. It's that predictable. Now, the brain's blood supply looks incredibly complicated, right? But the good news is we can simplify it way down to three main highways. You've got the Anterior Cerebral Artery, or ACA, the Middle Cerebral Artery, the MCA, and the Posterior Cerebral Artery, the PCA. Let's take a closer look at each one. This brings us to the most common types of strokes. These involve what's called the anterior circulation. The MCA and ACA are the big players here. They're responsible for supplying blood to most of the frontal and parietal lobes, the parts that control movement, sensation, and even our ability to speak. Now, to really get this, you have to meet the little man in your brain, the motor homunculus. It's basically a map of how your body is laid out across your brain's motor strip. And just look at it. The hands and face take up a massive amount of real estate compared to, say, your legs or your trunk. It's pretty wild. And this right here is where it all clicks into place. The middle cerebral artery, the MCA, feeds the side or the lateral part of the brain. And guess what's mapped out right there on the side of that homunculus? Yep, the face and arms. The anterior cerebral artery, the ACA, runs right down the middle, supplying the medial part, which is where the legs and feet are controlled. So logically, an MCA stroke gives you a classic set of clues. You get weakness and numbness on the opposite side of the body, but here's the key. The face and arm are almost always affected way more than the leg. Other telltale signs can be the person's eyes looking toward the side of the stroke, and depending on which side of the brain is hit, you can see major language problems or this bizarre phenomenon where they just can't perceive one side of the world. But wait, there's more. It also really matters which side of the brain gets hit. For most people, our language centers are in the left hemisphere. So a left MCA stroke can literally steal your words, making it hard to speak or understand what others are saying. A right MCA stroke, though, can cause something called hemi-neglect, where, from the patient's perspective, the left half of the universe just ceases to exist. An ACA stroke? Well, that's a whole different story. Here, the weakness and sensory loss are biggest in the opposite leg. And because the ACA also supplies some deep brain structures that manage things like personality and bladder control, patients might also have urinary incontinence or a profound lack of motivation called abulia. It's like their get up and go just gets up and goes.
Okay, let's move our investigation to the back of the brain, the posterior circulation, which is mainly fed by the PCA, supplies the occipital lobe, that's our vision center, and the brainstem, which is like the critical control tower for the entire body. The classic calling card of a PCA stroke is a very, very specific kind of vision problem. When a stroke knocks out the visual cortex on one side of the brain, the patient loses the same half of their visual field in both eyes. It's a mouthful, but it's called a contralateral homonymous hemianopia. And things can get even more specific if the stroke hits the deeper branches of the PCA that supply the midbrain. When that happens, you get these classic named syndromes. They usually involve a third nerve palsy, which gives you a droopy eyelid and an eye that looks down and out, combined with either weakness on the opposite side of the body or problems with coordination, which we call ataxia. All right, next up, we're looking at something a little different. This isn't about one blocked pipe, but what happens when the blood pressure drops everywhere in the system at once? This hits these vulnerable watershed zones that are stuck right at the edge of the major supply territories. The best way to think about these watershed areas is to picture a farmer's field at the very end of a long irrigation ditch. They're the last to get water. So if the water pressure for the whole system drops, maybe from something like a cardiac arrest or major shock, Which part of the field is going to dry out first? Yep, the very end. The brain works the same way.
And this very specific vulnerability right in the watershed zone between the MCA and ACA territories can cause a really strange condition with one of the most memorable names in all of medicine.
So why the bizarre name? Well, it happens because the damage hits the part of that homunculus map that controls the shoulders, hips, and trunk, the area right between the MCA's arm territory and the ACA's leg territory. So the patient could still move their hands and feet just fine, but their big proximal muscles are weak. They literally feel like they're stuck inside a barrel, just able to move their hands and feet.
Okay, it's time to bring all of these clues together. This is the moment where we can look at the pattern of symptoms and finally solve the puzzle of where the stroke happened.
This chart is basically our detective's cheat sheet. It really does bring it all together. Weakness in the face and arm, that screams MCA. Weakness mostly in the leg, you're thinking ACA. And a primary vision problem, that points you straight to the PCA. It's a beautiful diagnostic map, which brings us right back to our original mystery.
That patient from the beginning, remember? With the weakness in their face and arm, but a perfectly strong leg? You know the answer now, a classic middle cerebral artery stroke. But this precise mapping of who we are to physical locations in the brain, it leaves you with a much deeper thought. If our language, our personality, even our awareness of the world can be switched off by a tiny clot in a single blood vessel, what does that really tell us about the connection between our mind and our biology?